Well, hello everyone. This is Michael Dove, and I've invited a dear old friend to help me make an announcement about something wonderful that is coming up uh, in the near future. This is John Salunga, and John, you've worked with me and participated in my projects for many years now. So that's why I've chosen you to help me sort of bring out and talk about what we're getting ready to present to people now. So welcome, John.
All right, I'm glad to be here, Dove, and just hear from you what this new project is that you have in store for 2024. Yeah,
Mhm.
to dialogue about it, and just to kind of share and hear from you once again what ideas you have, and get some details. So,
Yes, yes, absolutely. Yes, so we're putting together a retreat, a spiritual retreat here in Varanasi, India, called the Deep SoulWork Retreat. And I'm very, very excited about it because I think that there's going to be some profound and unique features to this retreat that I'm very anxious to talk about and to share with everyone. And uh, so I think it's going to be quite special and amazing. Okay, and it's going to be for people that feel the call to pilgrimage,
mm,
feel the call, from within. And I believe that there are more and more people that are in this mode where there is that yearning for something more. And so, in a kind of a synchronous sort of way, I've been very, very called to create something that is an answer to that deep yearning. You see, to create an experience that meets the call for uh, the quest of spirit. You
mm,
see, and so because I live in India and I live in Varanasi, which is like the holiest city in India, uh, it's kind of like a perfect place and an opportunity to host such an experience. You see, so I'm just sort of um, feeling that it's the right time to
mm.
offer this opportunity for people to be able to answer that yearning, to answer that. And so I'm very, very excited about it, and hopefully we can get into it and give people a good picture and understanding of what it's about, what it's like.
Yeah. So, Michael Dove, can you share with me just a little bit around this pilgrimage, but also like the uniqueness of Varanasi or Benares or Kashi, sometimes it's what it's called. Is there
Uh-huh.
something else you can share about just the uniqueness of the
Oh
location
yes.
where you're at and yeah, in relation to this act of pilgrimage, like
Hmm.
externally and also internally there in
Yes.
Varanasi?
Yeah. There's so much to say about it,
Hmm.
and as I said, it's such a special place that it it has these qualities that truly speak to the soul, and the soul of everyone that visits and everyone that shows up. there. And so I wanted to create a retreat that really does justice to the uniqueness and creates the best, most optimal experience so that one can absorb the energies, the holiness of the place, but also a place in which, a situation in which um, one's soul is met,
Mm.
that one soul is truly seen and witnessed. So, so I wanted to make this very, very different. And so, one of the unique elements of this retreat will be that the retreat will actually begin from the time that you say yes and agree to engage with it. So we're going to be meeting several times, at least 3 times, a number of weeks prior to the actual event. It will take place, on the 18th of January, and it will go for 9 days to the 26th of January 2024. But we're going to gather online prior in order to do several things. One of which is to bond
Hmm.
as individuals and as a group, so that we cultivate the sense of community in the time leading up to the actual event of the retreat. The idea being that by the time we arrive, by the time everyone shows up on the site of the retreat, by the time everyone arrives in the holy city of Varanasi, we are ready to begin. We're like ready to kind of hit the ground running, so to speak. And we've already become familiar and bonded as a group, so that there's a real sense of spiritual community, that, or the initial germination of this of a sense of spiritual community that has already been established. You see, the idea being that for the 9 days that we're here, it allows us to utilize all of that time so that we can truly be here. You see, truly be grounded and ready to have the experience that we're going to have, and that there is no, less of a sense of time that is wasted.
Yeah.
Getting socially acclimated in order to be there. So we're actually going to utilize the possibilities, again, like the technology of gathering online and doing that preliminary bonding and getting acquainted and getting oriented to the idea of working um, at this, at this level, in this retreat. And so the other element that will make this retreat unique is that during that time in which we get acquainted, we will all also be creating for each individual a kind of a prescription, a
Mm.
prescriptive experience, so that each individual's program, each individual's schedule and program will be developed for that person well ahead of time. You see, so that some people may need more yoga, okay? Some people may require more time in temples, you see.
Mm.
Others may require more time in with individual instruction, okay? in terms of engaging and answering and being in deep dialogue about their soul development. Other individuals will require um, learning about the problem, the possibility of ritual and puja, and learning how to engage. And so we're going to be able to create an individualized schedule, and or we have a whole menu of experiences that are being able to be offered and tailor made to for each person's need. So there's going to be some things that are common that we will be experiencing as a group and as a collective, and at the same time, there's going to be a very very tailor made, individualized program that speaks to the need of each individual. And so the great bulk of that will be worked out and determined and worked on well before they actually arrive. And we're able to do this because of the unique qualities of Varanasi, because it's such an extraordinary holy place. So there are multiple temples. The river, we're right next
Mm.
to the Ganges River, or as they call it here, the Ganga, which is like the holy river where life and death and everything in between happens. And so there are holy wells for that do healing, and there are um, multiple spiritual traditions have their holy places centered here, including Buddhism too, because we're in this retreat. We're going to take a journey, a pilgrimage to Sarnath, which is the place where the Buddha himself delivered his very first sermon. So we're going to
Mm.
visit the very spot in which the Buddha himself presented the the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path, and we're going to be right at that very place, and they even have uh, a bit of the original Bodhi tree there that many years ago they actually did took a sapling from the original Bodhi tree and grew another Bodhi tree there right on that spot. So we're going to be able to have that kind of experience. And so this is like an example of the absolute auspiciousness of this area and the potential of this experience. So it's like it's a holy place for uh, many mystical and spiritual traditions: Hinduism, uh, Jainism,
Mm.
Buddhism, Islam. It's like an extraordinarily rich place. So we're able to offer this plethora of a multiplicity of spiritual contact and encounter. And so that's how we're div, designing this retreat. It's designed to create the optimal engagement and benefit of all of this convergence of holiness that happens in this special spot on the planet. You see, so it's so as I say, there's going to be some very very extraordinary, unique qualities of this retreat which will uh, make it a once in a lifetime
Mm.
kind of experience.
Yeah, I can really hear, the innovativeness that I know you're always wanting to contribute in spiritual work, just in the design of the retreat, and really maximizing, like you said, um, the place and all that Varanasi has to offer. I wanted to also like lift up, this idea of the personalization and the intent to make this retreat really meet the retreatant, right? And meet them from where they're at, and that kind of recognition. I really feel like the tailoring of the retreat and the individualization is helping to meet that retreatant and meet their soul. Something that you mentioned earlier, um, as part of the intention.
Hmm. Yes, yes, because as I said earlier, I believe that a lot of people, uh, deep in their heart, feel this yearning, this call to pilgrimage,
Mhm.
especially at this time. You see, and so it's like to create an experience that um, addresses and engages that call and allows people to have an experience that uniquely equips them
Mm.
for their work in this life, in this incarnation, at this time that they chose to be here on the planet. You see, and so it's going to be, as I say, unique, and it's an experience and a pilgrimage and a retreat that is not necessarily for everyone,
Mhm.
but for particular people, especially individuals that are ready. I believe that it's right and it's ideal in that sense. So this is like the attitude that we're taking in terms of constructing it. Now, it's interesting because it's like, you see lots of different like retreats and
Yeah.
spiritual experiences that are offered, literally all around the world and such. And so one of the things that we really wanted to do was, sort of respond to, as I say, this particular kind of spiritual quest or yearning, but we wanted to be careful to not overpromise in the sense that I feel, unfortunately, maybe very common. So we're not going to say you're going to get enlightened in a weekend or
Mhm.
even a week. Not necessarily that, or be able to uh, amplify your income or your wealth necessarily from this, or any of the other kinds of claims that people like to throw out there. But but one thing that we can kind of promise, and dare I say almost guarantee, is that we create the optimal, rich and deeply fertile, spiritually fertile opportunity for your soul to be met and engaged, spoken to, and creating the optimal conditions for extraordinary growth that is tailor made for you, you know, as as an individual. And so that's the kind of the intention, the attitude and uh, the spirit of it. Now it's interesting because as I've lived here, guess going on 4 years now,
Yeah.
getting
Mhm.
you know here in India, I have, as you know, I've been teaching and guiding and conducting retreats and creating spiritual experiences for people for going on 40 years now. And I've done it around the world. And I've done it in Europe and
Yes.
North America and down in Mexico, and in Canada and 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 so all of this retreat, what we're creating, what we're constructing now, represents a culmination, a pulling together of many years of spiritual growth and exploration and active experience in teaching and guiding people into their greater potential. And of course, this particular retreat uh, um, is one that has been a long time in development because I've worked with people who have come to visit me here in Benares, Kashi, Varanasi, and we've created powerful spiritual experiences as they have visited, and we have uh, retreated individually. So I've had a number of visitors from the West that I've supported and helped lead through uh, Varanasi and helped create uh, a powerful, very individualized experience. So we're ready now. It's like we're ready now to open it up and invite a group to have this experience, experience now. So I'm very excited because all of the elements to make it possible have converged. It's like we have really wonderful lodging. There's an entire team here of very knowledgeable professional individuals that are capable of helping to create this very rich experience. I have connections here, and we will be calling in priests and pundits and guides and practitioners from Varanasi, local people, but it's like local people in this holy
Hmm.
city that are going to be participating in this retreat. And so that's what's going to kind of like expand the richness of the experience. So you're going to be able to meet pundits and practitioners, participate in pujas. I have connections to, and we're going to be having Indian classical music concerts here on the grounds. Um, we're going to be able to experience the river, the Ganges, the Ganga, which we are right next to the river bank. Okay, and so we're going to be spending time like on the ghats and participating in the arti ceremonies that happen in the morning and the evening. And so we have access to the boats and different local temples, and you'll even be able to meet some of the very brilliant master crafts people here as well. So there's going to be like layers of richness of experience that are going to be available, and this is why I describe this particular retreat, the deep soul work retreat, as a once in a lifetime kind of opportunity. You see, I mean, we when we visit Varanasi, when we come here, uh, one can't help but have a profound experience because that's the nature of the place. But this particular retreat will be about intensifying and amplifying and more deeply grounding that experience so that it is it is rich at every turn, and there's be a sense of time not wasted,
Hmm.
but actually time being very still, because you're going to be ushered into the this eternal uh, sense, this eternal uh, vibration of this holy city, in which it seems that time stops, and that we are sort of operating in this transcendent, eternal kind of space. And this is like the most optimal condition in which we can truly engage our soul, which is why we call it the deep soul work retreat. So it'll be like very carefully guided and designed to allow us to have access to our own depths.
Yeah, that name is really resonating in a whole another kind of way, especially as you were describing like how it's not just going to be you offering the retreat, but there's a whole network, right, of different practitioners locally, right, who are also carrying that energy of Varanasi. It's like the deep soul of people that are going to be joining the retreat, and
Yes,
also touching into the depth and the souls, and the wisdom of the people there as
yeah,
they participate in the retreat to support everyone. So yeah, it's really beautiful. Once again, the design, the location, the intent. Um,
yes. On all of the practical levels. First of all, the our lodging will be at the Om Home Guest House here, and it's a wonderful, lovely place. It's like right next to right next to the Ganges. So just on my balcony, I can actually see the Ganges, see the Ganga, the river, from my balcony just outside my room. Uh, we have um, kind of a restaurant here, a cook on the premises,
mhm.
so that you will be given meals, healthy vegetarian meals each day, and all of this is like part of the package.
Okay.
All right, we have common areas. We have a garden, which we sometimes we utilize, the food, and fruit and such that yields from the garden, in terms of the preparation of our meals as well. So there's an entire team of people here, caretakers and guides and professionals that are kind of associated with the guest house itself. So everything that you need for your comfort and safety will be available here. If somebody becomes ill, we call in a doctor. We have yoga, massage, uh, specialized massage technicians, practitioners, and people that offer guidance to the different temples, uh, and so this it's a place in which one will be very well taken care of. The rooms are lovely. The food is amazing, and we even have Ricky G, who is our hotelier, the manager here,
Mm.
who is also a travel agent, who can help you with all of the details and ins and outs of everything that you would need to know in terms of your transport and passage to and from here, making reservations, whether it's train or plane, or if you want to go to someplace else after the retreat, all of that can be arranged, and it's all kind of in house. So as I said, it's a very wonderful, kind of a unique opportunity to have this experience very comfortably, very safely, and I believe that most of this information can be found on our website. On the website that will be listed listed below in this video, so you'll be able to access it. Um, and and we're available to answer questions, so that there's lots of opportunity, avenues for contact, to have your inquiries answered and dealt with. Everything that you need to know about the retreat, and we give all kinds of advice on these special things that you need to know when traveling through India, or traveling through, internationally through South Asia and such. And we will also be listing the prices of the whole package. And the idea is that we want to make it accessible, this experience accessible and affordable for most people. So we've kept the all of the prices, the costs of the package, very reasonable for such an experience. And that's all going to be on the website. And we're working from a base price of $1,200 for the whole of the package. And we're very flexible in terms of payment and
Okay.
such. Okay, so the idea is to make it available, make it as something that if you choose to have this experience, if you feel called to this experience, it's something that can most definitely happen. And and we will be doing all that we can to help it to occur and work and manifest for you in a very, very gracious, easy, accessible way. And so I encourage people to kind of explore the website. All right, and you'll see, and you'll get a good picture of what the experience should be like, and it will help you to kind of formulate uh, what you may want or need from this experience, and to make it as powerful and unique, so that it truly speaks to and answers the deepest yearning, the deepest call for soul growth. And so that's the kind of the idea, the spirit of it, the intention behind it all.
Yeah, on the website, I remember one of the features that you listed around what makes this retreat also unique is just this intention around being like socially and culturally like responsible and
Hmm.
integrated into the community. So I really
Yes.
feel that with all the things that you've already shared. And I also know there's a whole background to the kind of ways you've given back to the community
Hmm.
of Varanasi, so that these relationships of exchange are
Hmm.
really authentic, that you've built
Yes.
through your own
Yes.
work, your own generosity, this generosity to be mindful of the costs,
Hmm.
but also make it workable for everyone involved, because everybody's participating
Yes.
with
Yes.
their
Yeah.
gifts, their offerings in a way that's authentic. So
Yeah. 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 The idea is to create an experience in which you, as a participant, are like authentically and appropriately and ethically
Yes.
here in a grounded way. So so it's not about like, uh, being being the just the tourist,
Hmm.
just the stereotypical kind of touristic kind of experience, but it's about really, really being here. So even built into the retreat experience is going to be an an opportunity to actually engage with people here in in a mode of service. You
That's
see,
beautiful.
because we've established a long time ago, since I've been here,
Yes.
a food service called Meals in the Ganges. And so what we're going to be doing is taking one of the days in the morning, just a couple of hours, where we have adopted an ashram for people who are infirmed or have handicaps and such. And then we bring them groceries. You see, we bring them groceries and some simple supplies and such, and then we help them out. But it's about more than just that. Even though that's critically important to do, what it does is it gives us an opportunity to engage with humanity in an extraordinary way, one that you will remember for the rest of your life. You see, and it's just an experience, and it's not something everyone has to do. So everything is all voluntary and everything, but we just take a couple of hours, and then we do that for people, as the Bible says, for the least of these, whereas when we serve the
Mhm.
highest. And so this is the spirit of it. So this whole retreat will be a comprehensive, integrated experience that speaks to the soul in as many ways that the soul can be engaged. You see what I'm saying?
Yes. Yes.
And
Comprehensive, as you said.
yes, yes. And I will be kind of like, the facilitator. Will be in Everyone will be in constant dialogue and interaction, and we will make sure that everyone gets the experience that their soul is calling them to have. That's the intention. That's what it's about.
I know there's been different retreats I've been to, not necessarily like this, but sometimes a retreat is also like a pulling back and kind of a keeping away from, um,
Uh-huh.
to be able to focus on a particular part. And yeah, I just really feel like this offering here, yeah, it's really, like I said, comprehensive, complete, with
Hmm.
our senses, with our inner work, with offerings or rituals, and yeah, just a lot of different entry points and a lot of different
Yes,
modalities, for lack of a better word, right now, to be
certainly.
able to, yeah, meet your
Hmm.
soul, that deep soul
Yes,
meeting.
yes, yeah, and that's one of the wonderful thing about it is that, whatever you need, if you need to be quiet and in solitude,
Mhm.
okay, we make that happen. That is possible. We allow you to be in that mode, and then we do what we can to help uh, maintain that space that your soul and your needs for its development. So some people will be more in a quiet, solid, silent, contemplative mode, and others will be in a much more engaged, hands-on dialogue kind of experience. And so the idea is to be sensitive to what each individual soul needs. And then we utilize, as I say, the entire menu
Mhm.
of uh, circumstances and possibilities and offerings, and that are available here. That's the idea, and that's why it's so exciting. This is why it's such an exciting thing. And as I say, we'll be talking about it for the next few months. And I highly encourage everybody that if any of this resonates with you, contact us. Let us know, and then if it's something that is right for you, and if it's something that it's time for you to experience, we will do all that we can to help make it happen. And so,
I
yeah. So
know. Yeah, I know on that website, right? There's a lot of rich content already on there, and I think there's one of the links is like a register link to be able to initiate the communication for those that are going to feel called to this retreat.
yes, yes, indeed. There's some simple instructions on how to register for those who are ready to register, and one of the certainly initially you would contact us, and one of the things that we ask is that you describe to us in a couple of few paragraphs
Mm.
a little about your spiritual uh, history and desires, and where you might be coming from, or what you think that you might want from this kind of retreat. Just to tell us a little bit about yourself, and that will help us to understand uh, if this is right for you, if it's something that you are ready for, or not. Because as I said, uh, this experience is not necessarily like for everyone, but for people that are ready, I believe that it can be very, very profound, and absolutely the right thing to pursue. And we want to make sure that you, on your soul level in your journey, receive what it is possible and what is there for you to receive and experience for your growth and your development. So that's the idea behind even the registration,
Mhm.
process.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, oh, go ahead.
exactly. And uh, that's that's why I say that the retreat experience begins from the time that you say yes. It begins from the time that you decide that this is worthy, or this is of value, or this is something that uh, maybe something that you want to do. Then that's when this whole retreat process begins. It begins long before you set foot in India. It begins long before you set foot in on the retreat grounds here. You see, that's the wonder of it.
I'm sometimes the kind where I'm like a little bit more on the fence, and I'm interested. So, are there like three questions that you might share with us that would be like, okay, here are some questions to ask, and just get a feel for it. So I already heard one, like, am I ready to say yes?
Hmm.
To whatever that
Hmm.
might mean. So that's maybe one of the questions. Am I ready to meet, like, my soul power in a way that's
Yes. Yeah.
authentic, and
Yeah.
I'm open to that now in a way that I haven't been before. But I'm just curious
Hmm.
if there's a
Oh,
few other
certainly.
little ways to
Certainly.
those that of us that are on the fence to just nudge us a little bit
Uh-huh.
more.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yeah. Well, I would say one question is, what are your expectations? I.e., how do you see yourself? What do you imagine that it would be like when your soul, who you are, when your soul is in full expression?
mm,
You see, what will it be like when you are engaged in life and in your dharma, or which means in your
mm,
purpose, grounded in your purpose of why your soul came to this life, came to this planet. What might it be like when you're in your fullness of that? Another question would be, what kind of service to the world, to the planet, to the world, to humanity
yes, yes.
now? Uh, what might that look like? You see. And then perhaps even another question would be like, okay, what would it take to get there? Okay, what are the ingredients, the
Mm,
elements? What is required? What is required to make this, to facilitate, to make this so? So it's like these kinds of core questions that get to uh, the level of the deep soul work, where we create, as I say, a rich, optimal kind of environment where answers can be reached. We can engage at that level, so that the yearning, the soul, is met.
thank you for those other questions.
Yes, yes, yes. So I would say that I'm absolutely looking forward to those souls, those individuals that will hear the call, and who are heartfelt and courageous and nurturing enough, willing to respond. I'm anticipating some very, very special people stepping stepping forth and being able to, within themselves, within their own being, say yes.
Mm,
And we offer this experience as a vehicle to help make that yes happen. So, so thank you, John. Thank you
yeah, yeah.
for
Thank you.
having this dialogue with me. I think that that people will be able to be helped along and sort of understanding what we're doing here, what it's like. And again, if anyone has any more questions or any other inquiries or need more clarity or whatever, we'll be happy to talk with them, make the contact, and begin the pilgrimage process.
Yeah, well, thank you to for offering this and the whole community of people there in Varanasi that you've made connections with and are also, part of the, yeah, just the people, the spirit, the energy to be able to receive all the ones that are going to be signing up. So thank you,
Yeah.
Doug.
No, you're quite welcome. Thank you. Thank you, John. Namaste.